Today we are in sunny Florida and we are touring a gorgeous condo, and every inch has been transformed. It took a massive 420 days to renovate this space, and the homeowner Tom served as the contractor's right-hand man through the entire project. It is located at the Redington Shores Yacht and Tennis Club, and it sits on the top floor with the best views of the Gulf and the Bay. They also renovated a really cool cabana that you'll want to see, so be sure to watch until the very end. I'm Sarah, and this is Rebuild and Revive. I can't wait for you to see it. Let's go check it out.
Hey, come on in. Welcome.
This is Tom, and he is the homeowner. And actually, this is really special for me because I've known Tom for
30 plus years.
Yes.
You and my daughter Jessie grew up and were best friends forever and ever and ever, and still are. And
yeah.
And in fact, last time we saw you was at her wedding in England a couple years ago.
I was actually and I was actually a bridesmaid.
You were a bridesmaid.
So that was really cool. So thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. Deborah and I moved here, and we bought this place in 2018, and then we spent a year and a half redoing it. But the complex was built in 2007, and everybody, all my friends, kept saying, "Hey, Tom, this is a great place. You don't have to do a thing. Everything's all done. It's like brand new." But they didn't understand how I work. I can't. It's got to be me. So we came in and spent a year and a half, and we totally gutted the entire place, down to everything: the floors, the walls, the bathrooms, the kitchen, and started over. And now we're done, and I'll never do it again. That's what they said the last couple places that I redid, and I said I would never do it again, and I keep redoing it again. So anyway, I'd love to give you the tour.
Before we check it out, a quick thank you to my sponsor, Studio Bliss Interiors, an interior design firm that creates beautiful spaces made for living. Let's go check it out. So you are a professional photographer.
I was a professional commercial advertising photography. I traveled the world on assignments. I had a big 4,500 square foot loft studio in Cincinnati. I think you remember that.
Yeah.
And then we came to Florida, and I retired when I came down here. So I have my office set up here, and that's where I do all my photography work still. Not commercial, just personal. And so let's take a look.
Yeah,
let's
see it.
All right. Our place is very kind of beachy. It's got just kind of a beachy feel to it. In my office here, I wanted to have my own little man cave. And Deborah and I really couldn't decide when we moved to Florida if we were going to stay here or if we're going to move out to Utah. Because we love Park City. We go out there and ski and hike and fish. And, we go out there once a year, sometimes a couple times a year. So I had to have my little area that was representative of the West and lodgy feel. So my office is a departure from everything else here. So come on in. As you can see, there's nothing beachy in here whatsoever. Snowshoes on the wall, pictures of the West. And the nice thing is I can sit here and I've got windows that look across the street at the Gulf. The thing is, I needed an area to do my printing, which would be my digital darkroom, so to speak. Turn my closet into a working closet. So it's more of another workspace. Got my printer in here, just extra stuff. My little eclectic pictures, which some people think are a little strange, but that's okay. And so this works out great. When I had my studio downtown, I was in Cincinnati. I was there for 17 years, and I became more and more of a location photographer. But I really didn't need such a big 4,500 square foot loft, and I literally lived there for a couple of years, and then it was a huge, beautiful space, just giant. And so finally, I decided to build a studio on the back of my house in another part of town, which worked out great, much smaller. But the very last day I was there, a friend of mine came and he did this incredible 360-degree panorama picture with me in the picture. It was the very last day I was there, August 31st, the last day. And the incredible thing is 9/11 happened 11 days after this picture was taken.
Oh, wow.
And when that happened, my business, all business, literally shut down for 6 months. There was no work whatsoever.
Oh.
And the good thing was that, I was no longer paying rent, which I would have had to pay rent.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm in here 11 times. The original picture of me was just standing there. And then I went back and here I'm sitting at that little desk, standing here, standing there, standing here. You can't see me. I'm on top of that little loft back there. And I'm standing in the window, I'm sitting there, and then there's a picture of me walking out the door. And it was just a kind of a neat picture. I had that framed and sitting in my old studio. People ask me, being a commercial photographer and traveling on assignments all over the world and meeting lots of people and photographing lots of people, like who is the most important person you've ever photographed in your life that people would know? And I said, well, there's a very simple answer, and that would be Ronald Reagan. I spent a day with him in Cincinnati when he came to visit the Procter & Gamble plant. I was working on their corporate annual report at the time, and they asked me if I would go and photograph him while he was on his visit, which I did. And I was with him for a full day. I was walking around private. I had to be cleared by the Secret Service at first, which I was going, wonder if they'll find anything out about my past, but I obviously cleared. So anyway, when there was at one point where he walked out of a room and I was reloading my cameras, and he just walked in. He was the first man to walk in the room, and I said, "Hello, Mr. President," and he said, "Hey, how you doing? Getting a lot of good pictures?" I said, "Yeah," and he shook my hand, and the moment just came and went just like that. Well, about a couple of weeks later, when I was working on the corporate annual report, this lady came up to me and said, "Hey, I've got something for you." I said, "What's that?" She says, "Picture. The White House photographer is always with the president all the time, and he takes a picture of everybody that the president shakes hands with." And he just happened to be shooting over Ronald Reagan's shoulder and caught him taking a picture of me shaking his hand. So this is my claim to fame. Another little feature which I didn't point out to you, but you'll notice when you leave, in our lobby downstairs, as you walk in, there's a picture on the wall, and right now it's a picture of flags. And that's become my little gallery. And so I change the picture about every month. I put a new picture up there, depending on the season or however I feel. And people in the building really appreciate having different artwork all the time. So this was the last one I had down there, and it's just spring. I just title them Spring. And then the one that's hanging down there now is a collage of American flags. And I just said that's kind of a Happy Birthday America 250. And so every month I change the picture down there depending on the season and how I feel. And some people have actually wanted to buy copies of them, and I crank them out, print them for them. All right, well, let's start with the kitchen. This was the first major project we did. All the floors here were a really dark tile, and it made the whole place look really dark. And the kitchen was all dark cabinetry. And so what we did is we just gutted it all. First of all, the refrigerator was over in the corner, a lot of wasted space. The island, we doubled the size of it. All the counters here had the split level, and we just redid it. And we had all new cabinets and added a lot of new lights. Over here, this is our little wet bar area. Before, it was just an open space. There was nothing here. My contractor, Dave, we collaborated on everything. I was his grunt, so to speak. I was his handyman throughout the entire project. This is our third condo we did together. But he came up with the idea of doing this backsplash. First, I was just going to do it here. And he said, no. He said, why stop there? Bring it around, take it all the way up. And so we did. Put lighting in all the cabinets, and I can change the color of that light. Here's something that's just a little clever little thing. Aww. That's Deborah and I. The kids did that for us when we were up in New York.
That is so sweet.
You get into this machine and it takes your 3D picture, so we keep it up. Our exhaust hood here, there is no exhaust going out. So it's a recirculating hood, but there's these big black charcoal filters up here that we have to replace from time to time. But it really has a lot of, I mean, it can crank it out pretty much. Another feature is not only lighting, but ventilation. There's nothing worse than being in the kitchen working and just, you got the stove going and it's hot. So I said, hey, let's put a paddle fan in. So we put this paddle fan in here, and it just constantly goes. It just kind of keeps the air flowing. Look. And then this mirror here, this was actually here when we moved in. It was horizontal on this wall. And the neat thing about this mirror is when you're standing at the kitchen sink, looking in the mirror, you see the reflection of the Gulf. And if it's a nice sunset, you can see the sunset through here over there. We didn't know what to do with this mirror, and Deborah wanted to keep it, and we were going to hang it back, but we couldn't keep it because of this trim here, so we just have it leaned up against the wall. And then Deborah said, I want to paint it someday. Well, it's been 6 years and it still hasn't been painted yet. It's still on the to-do list. See, we do portraits in here. We have a whole portfolio of family pictures of just portraits, and I use my phone and take
standing in the mirror.
And it's been fun. So
we'll have to do that with Deborah too.
We'll do it. Yep.
Okay.
We'll do that. We have a very eclectic collection of furniture. We've had different designers come in to give us their interpretation of what we should do here, and it just looked too stale. Everybody wants to do a sectional couch in front of the windows, and Deborah said, I want to be open where you can literally walk up and look out and see everything. Stand here and look, but she really likes to get up to the windows.
Yeah.
We got our binocs, we look out and look at the beach, look at the bay over here.
And you were telling me about this piece. Yeah,
this piece, when we lived in Cincinnati, we had a really old arts and crafts home, and we had a wood maker, a cabinet maker. He came in and he built these beautiful cabinets, which sat on both sides of our stone fireplace. And when we moved to Florida, we said we wanted to take them when we sold that house. And the people that bought it said, no, they got to stay. So I got a hold of the cabinet maker and I said, can you make me one more cabinet? And I'd love to bring it down to Florida and to have it down here. So he did. He made another whole cabinet for me. It's an arts and crafts type of a mission feel to it. Would you like to go out and see our balcony?
Yeah, I want to see the best part of the whole place.
It is a wonderful view out here. So right this way. This is our personal aquarium out here. We see dolphin, we see manatee, we see stingrays, we see, you name it, we see it out here. Early in the morning, especially when the water's calm. Over here, we have Boca Ciega Bay, which is great. We're a barrier island here, so this is the waterway that separates us from the mainland, and it's got channels and inlets that go in and out and in and out. We have several friends that have boats. You can't see down here, but there's some boats on the marina, and it's great to have friends with boats and not have to buy a boat.
Yeah, so. That's true. That's really nice. So you lived down here. Was it during Hurricane Helene?
Helene.
Okay.
That was 2 years ago. Fortunately, we were up in New York State at the time visiting Jesse.
Okay.
And when it happened, and it was bad. It formed very quickly, and we got the surge, and the surge was like way higher than it's ever been here.
Oh, wow.
Our pool down here, which I don't know if you can see, but anyway, it was totally inundated. Our garage, water was up to the windshields of every car that was left here. So many cars were ruined.
Yes, yeah.
It was a trying time. Fortunately, we were okay, especially being this high.
Right.
But it took, when it happened, the sand and the muck that was driven in was unbelievable. I mean, they had plows that would plow the sand up. It looked like you lived in Colorado after a big snowstorm.
Oh, wow.
You can see the debris flowing down the sidewalk below us. And it is going to be a long night here on the barrier islands of Pinellas.
Barb, Robert, God, look at that. Jeez. We'll just walk out here and get on the beach. Hot tub is toast. Pool's toast.
It took a year or two before a lot of places were really, had their pools fixed. And a lot of businesses, there's still businesses that haven't opened, and probably will never open. But then 2 weeks later is when they had Hurricane Milton, and that was a windstorm.
Wow.
So we had a 1-2 punch, within 2 weeks of each other. It was really bad. But when they tell you it's a mandatory evacuation, you're supposed to leave the island. What happens is they give you to a certain time to evacuate. And if you don't evacuate, then they take all the drawbridges and raise them up. So no one can get on or off.
Right.
And if you have an emergency, you're on your own until they reopen the bridges. And
that's very scary.
Yeah. And especially when you lose power, no air conditioning, all your food is spoiled. And when we go down to the cabana, I'll explain the damage that was done down there and how high the water actually got in there.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are okay.
Yeah.
And it seems like everything is, for the most part, up and running. And
they
rebuilt pretty quickly.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to see the master bedroom?
Yeah, let's see it.
This is the master bedroom, and just like everything else, we totally redid it. It had dark vinyl floors in here. And then over here, the master bathroom was a collection of doors. And I just said, this is crazy, having so many doors. So let's just get rid of all the doors, and we'll just have one door.
And this is like a secret room in here.
This is our secret room. This is Deborah's little special spot. Come on right on in. We redid our closets. They were all wire racks in here. We didn't like those, so we took all the doors away. So now we both have our own separate walk-in closet. The bathroom, totally redone. We've seen the master bedroom, we've seen the living room, dining room, we've seen the kitchen, we've seen the balcony, seen my office, and the bathroom here.
So what's next?
Well, the one last bedroom is our guest bedroom across the hall. So follow me. The only thing in this whole condo that remains from the original was this bathtub. This bathtub was here, and we decided to leave one bathtub in case we have kids or grandkids who need a little bath. So we totally rolled everything around the tub and retiled, put like a waterfall again with the tile. Well, we have seen our condo upstairs, everything we've redone. There's only one more thing to see, and that's our cabana. And when we first purchased here, the cabana was included, and we didn't think anything of it, like, oh gosh, everybody's got a cabana. But then we found out that half the people don't have cabanas, and the ones that don't really wish they had one. And so the one that we had was decorated back when this place was built. Just like everything else here, I just couldn't just sit back and let that be. So we redid it. So let's go down and we'll check it out.
Let's go check it out.
These are the cabanas, and there's only 17 in the building, like I mentioned, and we happen to have one. And when we purchased this place, it was really decorated pretty. I don't know what the word is.
It looked like the 70s.
Like the 70s. So we gutted it, took everything out, and started from scratch, and redid it. And we put cabinets. These are cabinets that kind of match our cabinets from upstairs.
Oh yeah.
And if you're wondering why this one is white and the rest of them are that color, they all started that color, but after the hurricane, and this was all flooded, this cabinet, the people that came in and power washed everything, for some reason, the cabinets were fine, but they took the drawer and one door and left one door on there.
Oh, really?
And it was like, what? So that was the door that was left. And so then I went to try to find another cabinet, and they don't make that style anymore. In fact, they don't even make that color anymore. So we got something that was very close, but all they had was white. We just keep this for, drinks and wine and extra stuff. But it's great having this cabana being right next to the pool. We got all of our pool stuff here, and this is our little, it's called the glamping, our glamping life.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got the big tires so you can get it through the sand on the beach. And then you just load it up with all of our chairs, our umbrellas, and our noodles, and we're ready to roll.
Thank you so much, Tom and Deborah, for sharing your home with us and sharing with us all the changes that you've made. It's truly incredible, and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming and filming us, and it was great. And great seeing Jesse on FaceTime. That made it all.
Yeah, it was really fun getting to see you. It's been a while, so
Sure
I appreciate it.
Stop back anytime.
Thank
Go down
you.
to the pool for a dip. In case anybody was wondering what the representation of this beach blanket is, it says Heartbreakers Beach Party. Well, Deborah and I are big Tom Petty fans, and one of his songs he did on one of his albums is called Heartbreakers Beach Party. And so, anyway, it's a funky old song he did. It's kind of funny. And so, for a birthday present a couple of years ago, Deborah went online and they had a Tom Petty store, and this was a beach towel that had Heartbreakers Beach Party. So we didn't know what to do with it. We didn't want to take it to the beach or the pool because we just had one. We threw it on the bed one day and said, wow, that red really stands out against the blue. And now it's part of the bed. Every time we make the bed, it's got to have the blanket there. So that's the story of the Heartbreakers Beach Party towel.
Thank you for watching Rebuild and Revive, and thank you to my sponsor, Studio Bliss Interiors, an interior design firm that creates beautiful spaces. And we will see you next time.